The following is a Food Network special presentation.
Coming up on Extreme Cuisine, food is art. Join us as we tour the world in search of artistic creations too beautiful to eat and too good not to. An art gallery of exquisite foods. Up next on Extreme Cuisine, food as art. In this hour, meet 3 chefs who traded their paring knives for chainsaws. No cakes here, but a lot of icing. They're all part of the wonderful world of food as art. The fruit bouquets are so good, they melt in your mouth. And these ex-chefs make things that just melt. They are Fear No Ice, Scott, Peter, and Kevin, the world's only performance ice sculpting team.
A lot of people think we're crazy.
Oh yeah, this is like therapy. You know, just whacking away. It's, you know, it's great.
It's loud, it's crazy, just busting big pieces off. And it's totally dangerous on the edge.
It's rock and roll, man. We love it.
They got their training carving centerpieces when they were chefs. But sculpting swans for Sunday brunch was far too tame for these guys. So they forked over their paring knives, traded them in for chainsaws, and started traveling the world, carving 300-pound blocks of ice. This is one art form that's a full-time job.
Started throwing the towel, like, you know, get out of the kitchen and do this is much more exciting, and traveling all around the world creating, you know, beautiful pieces of art.
Their artwork is in commercials, not galleries, and it's not framed or hung on the wall. You're more likely to see it in print ads or even on the table at the next wedding you attend. But that's not all.
We perform live in front of people in large audiences. We'll be an opening act to a band.
These pieces are being prepped for a show in St. Louis, where they are booked as the opening act of a gala event. Their creations start with the building block of all food, water, the frozen kind. But don't try this at home. The secret to ice sculpting is in these industrial-sized ice trays. These 35-gallon containers form the carving blocks by removing the impurities, leaving crystal clear water, perfect for freezing and sculpting.
Ice is tricky. If you pull it out of a freezer and into a warm room and try and put a saw to it, it'll blow up. You have to take it out with a temper. You could walk into the freezer and cut it no problem, because then it's at its own temperature and it can handle it, so you can cut right through it.
Their designs are freestyle. It starts with an idea, an image in their mind. Then come the chainsaws. They also use this $750 chisel and self-designed drill bits to carve out their works of art. They create roughly 1,000 ice sculptures per year. 250 of those are performance pieces that are done for an audience.
Well, what we're trying to do is duplicate like the artist studio, only huge, and everything's made out of ice. So there's the big picture frame with Albert Einstein's face in it, which is going to be shown in snow, along with some like 6-foot giant paintbrushes, a big artist palette filled with colors, which is here.
For the artist palette, they hollow out the holes from the back, pour in a thin layer of glitter, and fill the rest with ice shavings. This sculpture goes for about $6,000, others as much as $75,000. The pressure is intense, especially with the ice melting and the clock ticking away. When the pieces are finished, they're taken from the cooler and rolled into a freezer truck. But they have to move fast, or their hard work will go down the drain, literally. Then it's showtime.
I love the big challenge, and I love the competition edge, knowing that you have a certain amount of time to pull off a certain piece. You're rock and rolling out there. You're having a blast.
It's a lot of power.
These wild chefs-turned-bad boys have reached a new level of creativity. They just use slabs of ice instead of sides of beef.
To be able to sculpt something it's moving, it's a living art form. It never stays the same once it's in room temperature. It's constantly changing, creating another way of art. And that's the power and the addiction of it for all of us. What we're doing here is we're creating art. We have crystal clear ice, and we're creating works of art that people are like, they look at and they go, wow, it's water.
It's a world where paintbrushes and chainsaws meet mixing bowls and pastry cups, where fruits and vegetables turn into charming little creatures. There's no limit to the creativity of these talented people who turn ordinary food into spectacular works of art.